And I'm making my way around the room, and suddenly I hear this voice cry out behind me, "Fired up!" and I'm startled, and I don't know what's going on. But everybody in the room, this is a small room, they act like this is normal. And when the voice says "fired up," they all say "ready to go." And so once again, I hear the voice, "Fired up!" They say "fired up!" They say "ready to go, ready to go." And I look around, I turn around, and there's this small woman. She's about 60 years old. Looks like she just came from church. She got a big church hair. And she's looking at me, kind of peering at me, and she's grinning, smiling, looking happy. Turns out she's a city councilwoman from Greenwood who also moonlights as a private detective. I'm not making this up. This is true. And it turns out she's famous throughout the area. When she goes to football games and when she goes to rallies and she goes to community events, she does this chant of hers. She does it wherever she goes. So for the next few minutes, she just keeps on saying, "Fired up!" And everybody says, "Fired up!" And she says, "Ready to go!" And everybody says, "Ready to go!" And I'm thinking, you know, this woman is showing me up. This is my meeting. I'm running for president. And she's dominating the room. And I look at my staff, and they just shrug their shoulders. They don't know what to do. So this goes on for a few minutes. Now here's the thing, after a few minutes, I'm feeling kind of fired up. I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. So I start joining in the chant. My staff starts joining in the chant. Suddenly I feel pretty good. And we go on to talk about the lives of the people in the room, their families and their struggles, their hopes for their kids and their grandkids. We drive out, and it's still raining, but it doesn't seem so bad. And we go to our next stop, and for the rest of the day, even after we left Greenwood, even though we still weren't getting any big crowds anyplace, even though people still couldn't pronounce my name, I felt good. And I'd see my staff, and I'd say, "Are you fired up?" And they'd say, "We're fired up." They say, "Are you ready to go?" And they say, "We're ready to go." And we brought that to Iowa. And during our rallies, this became a chant. We'd have signs saying "fired up," "ready to go."
Fired up.
The woman, her name was Edith Child, she became a celebrity. And she was written up in the Wall Street Journal. And folks did news stories on her. And this became one of the anthems of our campaign back in 2008. Now, here's the end of the story. We knew we were coming back to Des Moines for the last campaign rally I'll ever do for me. And so we called up Edith Child. And we said, "Why don't you come on up? No, listen to this. We said, "Why don't you come on up? We'll fly you up from South Carolina, and you can do this chant one more time, just for old good time's sake. It's like getting the band back together again.